Hello, Daniel here with Recovery Central, and I certainly hope you are all staying healthy in this COVID-19 season, and we do hope we can see you face to face again very soon. And so today I want to introduce something that is called CRAFT. It is not my invention. CRAFT simply stands for Community Reinforcement and Family Training. And in a nutshell, CRAFT teaches the families of people with substance use problems how to get their loved ones into treatment. One description that CRAFT offers is alternatives to nagging, pleading, and threatening. And this is accomplished by a behavioral strategy with two goals. One is to improve the quality of the family member's life, and then two, make sobriety more attractive to the loved one with the problematic substance use. And these two goals are accomplished by a simple procedure called behavior mapping, which involves a deeper understanding of how a family member and drug user actually affect each other, and how this pattern can be modified to achieve different results. As an evidence-based program, CRAFT has been tested through research. The National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism conducted a study in 1999 which compared CRAFT to the 12-step program of Al-Anon, as well as to the Johnston Institute intervention, which is known for its videos called Intervention, available on the web. Two outcomes were assessed in this study. One was the number of loved ones who agreed to enter addiction treatment. The second was an improved quality of life for the non-using family member. And the results of this study demonstrated the effectiveness of CRAFT, which led 64% of substance users into treatment, compared with only 30% for the Johnston Institute and only 10% for Al-Anon. On the question of quality of life, the study measured depression, anger, family cohesion, family conflict, and relational happiness. And in all cases, research found that at 3 and 6 month checks after treatment with CRAFT, non-using family members reported improvement in every aspect of the quality of life. Other indicators in that same study also suggested that the success of CRAFT was even higher than initially reported. Now, much of the focus in CRAFT is on what we call the Concerned Significant Other, or CSO. And the wisdom of CRAFT is to think of desired changes in the family as a journey following a map. And while the map presents a simple route to follow, the reality of the journey includes potholes, detours, traffic jams, and other setbacks. In the same way, the life of the Concerned Significant Other, or CSO, is one with hard-to-break habits, unforeseen crises, and other discouragements which must be overcome. According to Dr. Robert Myers and co-author Dr. Brenda Wolfe, change is almost never easy, but change for the better is always worth the effort. So remember the first 2 points. The two goals are improve the quality of the family member's life and make sobriety more attractive to the loved one than problematic substance use. As we consider the first objective, improve the quality of the CSO's life, it means regaining sanity whether or not the loved one stops using alcohol or other mood-altering chemicals. In fact, the second objective, to make sobriety more attractive than using, is actually helped when the CSO's quality of life improves regardless of the addict's behavior. Now, this typically involves a decrease in stress level, a calmer manner of dealing rather than reacting with a loved one's behavior, and an improved relationship which brings new encouragement and motivation towards sobriety. The alternatives, as they are taught in craft, prepare the CSO for those obstacles, potholes, and detours on the path. This means that difficulties become opportunities to gain more control over adversity. So in the end, whether or not the loved one stops drinking or using, the journey of that concerned significant other has provided new skills and tools to enhance the quality of life. In the best case scenario, the relationship has gained a new sobriety and a new peace. In the worst case scenario, the concerned significant other realizes that he or she has done everything possible to help that loved one and has a cause for moving on with continuing self-care. Change in craft must be understood as something which takes time, as improvements are achieved in small steps with careful planning. The CSO is encouraged to plan for one small change at a time. As these changes begin to feel natural, then more changes can be added. The advice is to take your time, go slow, and enjoy the knowledge that you are on a life-enhancing journey. A CSO who encounters obstacles needs to remember that every road trip has its snags. With each new attempt of a technique that does not work, time is needed to think through what happened, review the original plan, review what the CSO did and how the user responded, and think of ways to improve the approach. Think of detours as natural occurrences along the journey which are to be expected. And by expecting them, we can also learn to master them. One problem with control is that when people love someone, they tend to give that person the benefit of the doubt. We often try again and again to make it work better without realizing we keep using the same failed tactics over and over. We probably do the same thing over and over, not because it works, but because it is the only approach we know. And this is where a person needs an open mind to new ways of interacting with a loved one with a drug or alcohol problem. In craft, control is something a person already has, but is just not using correctly. In many cases, a CSO and an addict get into an argument that escalates as they cross-trigger each other's behaviors. Consider the following situation. A man stumbles in drunk into his house. He is late for dinner again after stopping by the pub on his way home from work. So while he is very intoxicated just now, he is also in a good mood. His concerned significant other, however, is infuriated, and she lets him know what an inconsiderate SOB she thinks he is just as soon as he walks in the door. And immediately the man's mood sours as he heads for the liquor cabinet to get all the more trashed. The wife then throws dinner on the table and spends the rest of the evening going back and forth, ignoring him one moment and then scolding him the next. Not only does this fail to change anything, it repeats the same drama which has already been occurring again and again. So to give an example of what craft teaches, we will consider a different approach in this same situation. Only this time, when the man walks in drunk, the concerned significant other greets him with, "Honey, I feel awful when you come home late and tipsy. Although I love being with you most of the time, I really do not enjoy you when you're drinking. I have already eaten dinner and made plans to go to a movie with my sister. See you later. So, we can now imagine these two scenes, the first and the second, the original description and the revised version of that account. As we reflect on both of these, we can observe the implications of each one. In the original situation, everyone feels lousy in the house. The drinker gets the message that even though he is late and drunk, he still gets dinner and gets to keep his CSO around the house all evening. Even though they are fighting, they are still together. Now, in the revision, the man who's been drinking does not get an excuse to go to the liquor cabinet. Now, if he does anyway, he cannot put it on her. And as the pain and turmoil of interpersonal conflict is eliminated, he now has to come up with his own plan for dinner as he spends that evening alone. Now, while this may not evoke lasting change in the drinking behavior, continued efforts like this one will be more likely to eventually convince him that he does not like drinking as well as he had previously thought. The point of this discussion is that in changing the way you react to the one who is drinking, everything changes. By changing your reaction, you change everything. So now that we have this introduction to the basics of craft, we can look at an exercise which is a good way for a concerned significant other to begin a new journey in the effort against a substance use problem in the family. And so using the above scenario, as was just described, we begin to answer the following questions. One is, describe the last argument over alcohol or drug use that you had with your loved one, and write this as if writing a script for a play, and try to capture every nuance. Secondly, ask, what did your loved one say or do? And write that answer. Third is write what you said or did. The fourth is who said what first, who said something second and third, and so on, and then add other important elements. The idea is to begin to develop a very complete description of that problem situation and exactly how the interactions occurred between you and the one who had the substance use problem. And so you can now look back at the previous scenario when the drinker comes home late and drunk and notice how the non-drinking family member might change the course of the argument simply by changing her way of responding. What she did was drop her attack and simply tell him how his behavior made her feel. She also distinguished her love for him and her dislike for his behavior. And so you can go from here to develop a more full account of what you can now do different that can change the outcome the next time. And so we hope that you can find this information useful, begin to ponder it, and begin to understand something which really, when it comes to craft, there will be much more discussion and much more to learn. But thank you all very much.